Hello, this is Andy's Golf and Travel Diary at the Broken Sound Club in Boca Raton, Florida. And I'm here with Jack Oehm, a retired New York City Fire Department Battalion Chief. Jack, what brings you to Broken Sound today?
Well, Andy, the good people of Broken Sound have this golf outing every year to raise money for our mission to build smart homes all over the country for our wounded guys coming home with no arms and no legs. So we're here to bring the exhibit, the 9/11 exhibit down here to show them what the foundation does and to teach them and remind them of what happened to us on 9/11.
Awesome. How inspiring. How inspiring. Do you have a few more minutes to answer a few questions?
Of course. For you, Andy, all the time.
Jack, tell me where you were on 9/11.
Andy, I was off duty, so I was home. Heard about the first plane into the towers. I was actually driving my car going to my friend's house. I'm going to do some work on his house. And I heard just on the radio that a plane went into the World Trade Center. I'm saying, you know, it must be a small Cessna, two-seater. Somebody just got off course and just, you know, made a tragic mistake. Little did I know, once I got out, my friend said it's on TV, that it you know, had a big gaping hole in it, so I said, that can't be a Cessna. And then seconds later, another plane went into the second tower, and we said we both have to go back to the firehouse and get over there and help the guys. So I got into the firehouse and got all my gear and got to the site about 11 o'clock in the morning, and first thing you do, we went on top of the pile because it was after the second collapse, and just created a pile about 12 stories high, and we got on top of the pile and we started searching and organizing the search and rescue efforts for victims of 9/11. I lost 20 of my men, 3 out of 9 units in my battalion never came home, so 20 of my men were killed that day.
Tell me how you became associated with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Yes, well, it's always been, I've always tried to give back and to do good things myself, and I saw the Tunnel to Towers had a run every year to retrace Stephen's footsteps right through the tunnel and up West Street and to celebrate all those lives we lost. I said, I'm a runner myself, so I started running that run, and then some of my friends were on the committee for the run, and I joined the committee to help them more. And it's just been one thing after another. Then we started a golf outing to raise money for our wounded guys, and I play golf a little bit, so I joined that committee. And one thing led to another. Hurricane Sandy came. I just retired from the fire department, and we started doing Hurricane Sandy relief for the Silla Foundation. They raised $12 million, and I was put in charge of spending $12 million. I've been doing that job for the last 2 years. And now we have this exhibit that goes all over the country, and when I can, I love to get on it and show people and tell people the story of 9/11, Stephen's story of what he did for us in our city and our country on 9/11, and what the Silla Foundation is doing for our wounded guys coming home from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan with no arms and no legs.
Okay. Jack, tell me about this 9/11 exhibit.
Sure, Andy. It starts off telling you about the '93 attack, because everybody forgets about where they were and what happened to us as a country in '93. And that's important because our history tells us that we have to learn from our mistakes. And we go into the 9/11 attacks, about the 2 towers being hit by the planes, about the Pentagon being attacked, about the Flight 93, those American heroes on Flight 93 that caused that plane to crash into Shanksville instead of the White House or the Capitol. We have some artifacts and some tools from the fire companies that, you know, some of the equipment we used on 9/11, some of the apparatus that we used on 9/11. It shows the whole pile, what we call the pile, because when a 110-story building collapses, it creates a pile 12 stories high. And we show the memorial. It shows the new World Trade Center tower, which is so important to me because I tell everybody when you get knocked down, it's important to get back up. And the new World Trade Center shows us that we got back up. And then we come up here, we go into Stephen's story. Stephen was an off-duty fireman that ran back to his firehouse, ran through the tunnel with all his equipment on, up West Street, and wound up dying trying to save lives that morning. And Stephen's family got together, created this great foundation called the Stephen Silla Tunnel to Towers Foundation. And we tell about the runs that we have all over the country to raise money to build these smart homes for severely wounded service personnel coming home from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And that's basically it. So, you know, people ask questions and they're very moved by the end of the tour. And the exhibit ends by us telling you about the smart homes we build all over the country. We've built 28 smart homes for our wounded service personnel all over the country. But to me, the most moving part of the whole exhibit is this young man here, Kyle Hockenberry. Just got blown up in Afghanistan. He's on a gurney, on a medevac helicopter. The paramedics are working on him to save his life, which they did, thank God. Unfortunately for Kyle, he lost 2 legs and an arm. But more importantly, and what moves me the most, and what's so important to me, is when he ripped open his shirt, tattooed on his ribcage are the words, "For those I love, I will sacrifice." Now remember, this young man is 19 years old, so he must have tattooed his ribcage when he was 17 before he got into the Army. And to have that tattooed on your ribcage just tells me of the caliber of the young men and women that we have serving in our armed forces. Most Americans don't even know there's a war going on. Most Americans are not touched by the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. But this young man and young men and women like him voluntarily serve to protect our freedoms. And they have tattoos like this. Just so moving for me. Happy story for Kyle. He's him and his wife expecting their first kid in 5 months, and they're living in one of our smart homes in Marietta, Ohio.
Well, Jack, I want to thank you for being part of Andy's Golf and Travel Diary and taking me through this inspiring 9/11 exhibit and introducing me to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. A very inspirational day here at the Broken Sound Club.
Thank you, Andy. It was my pleasure.